Sound check. Sound check. Can you guys hear me now? Holy crap, I've been speaking for half an hour now. Now I need to repeat all of those again. And all right. I guess I'm gonna repeat myself, huh? All right. Let's reset. Reset. That was annoying. Okay. All right. You guys can hear me, right? Okay. Let's start again. All right. Let's tackle Ghostwig Build first. One of my favorite build for my Blade Soul, mainly because of the amount of burst that is comparable with SD, right? So as I was saying earlier, for the Thief class, we want to max Improve Flee, and then Hiding, of course. These are our core skills. Enchant Poison, and then we can go either Venom Knife or Double Attack here. If you go Double Attack, you have a chance to break through your Double Attack to 20. But I like Venom Knife just because I can utilize the weapon Venom Dagger, right? If I want to have some fun. So Venom Dagger, it gives you additional chance to cast Venom Knife when you're auto-attacking, okay? Now, it says here that the skill will be automatically cast. I sent a support ticket because this is not true. It's only around 10% chance to automatically cast this. So I got scammed. But there's a reason why Venom Dagger is also good, because it adds an additional layer of poison to your enemy. Now, for each poison stack, or for each sources of poison that you apply to your enemy, it adds 25% damage reduction, defense reduction, so minus 25% defense. So it counts as your ignore death. Okay, so I max Venom Knife for that reason. And then for the Assassin skill tree, yeah, I don't know what's happening, but there's no setting for me to change what speaker it will use. So I don't know. Let's see. There's nothing here to change. Mic settings. Yeah, there's nothing here. But let's just continue. For this one, we want Enhance Enchant Poison, Backsliding, and Venom Dart. At least for me, this is what I want. Now, you can have Max Sonic Blow, right? To close this. Oh, you can go Enhance Poison. These are the non-negotiable, if you ask me, right? And then Sonic Blow and Sonic Acceleration. You want this if you want to take advantage of your Dark Illusion. as Dark Illusion uses cross impact damage, right? And cross impact uses your Sonic Blow skills. So we'll answer the question in a few, okay? So you can go with this, or I should just backslide and then save this. You have 20 points from this skill tree. You can either level this up, Twin Blade Penetration, right? And Venom Dart. For Ghostwig build, I don't really make use of Dark Illusion. That's why I'm not going with Sonic Blow and Sonic Acceleration. So I can either, yeah, I'd rather go this route, right? Okay. Save this, and then for Assassin Cross, Soulbreaker, since we're talking about Ghostwig build, right? Soulbreaker, what it does is it uses your intelligence and then some attack value. As we increase it, the multiplier for your intelligence increases. Okay. And then of course, Enchant Deadly Poison and Enhance Hiding. There. Now, since we're gonna focus on daggers, what I usually do is it's either I max Assassination Halo to help fellow teammates, right? To help fellow teammates, especially RM, now that the meta is focused on crit rest. This will help. This gives us additional 20 critical. This helps a lot. Or you can play around Slash to deal more damage with opponents with less than 30% HP. Although, if people have this kind of HP, you can just use Soul Depravity, right? And just execute them. Or you can go Advanced Qatar if you want to use Qatar with your Ghost Wave. Not really recommended, so this will be my recommendation, Assassination Halo. Now, as far as Breakthrough goes, we'll just go Enhance Hiding level 10, Enchant Deadly Poison max, of course, for this build, Soulbreaker. We have a question, how to increase survivability? You can increase your survivability by playing around with your Soul Breath skill. Okay? And then we max Improve Flee for this build. Okay? Now, we go here. Again, for Ghost Wave, my recommendation is max Poisonous Weapon and New Poison. Some people skimp on New Poison. Maybe leave it to 5 to give you 25%. But I like to increase the chance of my New Poison. So 20% here, plus 10% here. That's 30% chance to inflict New Poison. New Poison deals 3% max HP damage per stack to a maximum of 3 stacks. So that's 9% max HP. Okay. And then with this meta, I'd recommend getting at least level 5 weapon blocking, or yeah, weapon blocking level 5. It's a must, not just recommended. And then Mind Intimidate, because we're gonna spam Soulbreaker or Ghost Wave. I'll leave it at level 14. Reason being is that if we're gonna play competitive PvP, right? Some people doesn't max their Poisonous Smoke. However, there are instances where a high level Poisonous Smoke is really helpful, because at max level, it gives you a chance, or it lowers your opponent movement speed by 20%. So imagine if people have been stripped, and people have been, what do you call this, has their shoe slot broken, so they don't have the effect of Moonlight. That means they spend more time under your smoke, giving you more chance to trigger new poison, right? Okay. Now, at least level 5 Halo Walk. Reason being is that as you level Hallucination Walk, right, it does increase your duration, 12 seconds. Skill cooldown, look at this, 12 seconds. Skill cooldown, 18 seconds. It increases it by 1.2 seconds for every level, right? That's why I just leave it to level 5. The way I use Hallucination Walk is for me really to just increase my movement speed. For Ghostwig Build, I don't really go in the middle of the clash. For me to take advantage of the higher level, higher duration of Hallucination Walk. And also, when we discuss about the runes, I'm not using the Hallucination Walk, I'm using the weapon blocking rune. Okay? And then with the meta for SK back, we want Antidote, right? That way, when we attack people and they're wearing SK back, at least you have 3 to 5 seconds. I usually use this as level 3. So I'm gonna lower my Poisonous Smoke, 13. And just add Antidote. Or if you're just playing yo-yo, sure, you can leave this to level 10, right? And then max your Mind Intimidate, level up your Halo Walk, and level 3 Antidote. But if you're playing competitive PvP, let's say MP, this really helps, especially against orb holders or wolf 6 versus 6. If you have a teammate that can strip your opponents, I strongly suggest that you max Poisonous Smoke. Yes, Moonlight Star with the shoes. Okay, so I'll save it now. This build focuses on yo-yo. Okay. Alright, for this, for yo-yo build, I think this is my second. Yeah. Here, Antidote. And then you can add weapon block here so you can cast it manually. You can put Halo Walk here. These 2 slots here, right? This is my second slot. And then for your first hotkey or skill bar, I would recommend this. Okay, you can actually change poison cast with Stay Calm. From my previous tournament, I find the need for Stay Calm, right? I keep getting stripped. And for Ghostwig Build, you don't really use poison cast that much, since you can just kill them with your Ghostwig. Okay. Alright. Let's see some of the comments. How to increase survivability. Survivability really is coming from how you play around with your Soul Breath. I think this is more OP than Asphyxia because the skill cooldown of Soul Breath is only 18 seconds. If you have the max rune, then you have 10 seconds of Soul Breath. You effectively have only 8 seconds of downtime with your Soul Breath. So your survivability revolves around Soul Breath. And sure, you can add additional HP, right? So my suggestion would be to aim around 2M to 2.5M PvP HP, right? Okay, so here I'm not gonna explore or explain the skills here. I think we're pretty much familiar with it. The main skill here would be the Ghost Wave, and then Soul Deprav. Soul Deprav, the calculation for Soul Deprab, it doesn't really utilize your attack. As you can see in the formula here, it's highly dependent on the number of souls that you have. Okay? And then Soul Breath, and then Ghost Wave, and of course Soul Sacrifice. You want to utilize Soul Sacrifice, that's why I have it here. Soul Sacrifice increases your int by 10 for each soul. So if you have how much I have? 14. I have 14. I think maximum is 15. Dark Contract, how much do you have for Dark Contract? Up to 10 can be collected, right, from our Soul Vow. And then Dark Contract gives you the max. And then 10 from Soul Vow and 5 from maximum from the Rune. You can effectively have 15 souls in total. So Soul Sacrifice can give you an additional 150 int. And Ghost Wave uses Soul Breaker as your damage calculation, and Soul Breaker relies heavily on your int. Okay? So we want to make use of Soul Sacrifice as much as possible. And with Ghostwig Build, we can get away with using this as much as we want to, because if we cast Ghost Wave, we have a chance to get 1 soul, as you can see here. This is a soul. And now we can have a way to cast Soul Breath. And then after the duration of your Soul Breath finishes, you will have the total or the max number of souls that you can. Here I have 14, and you can take advantage of this. Now, how would we get that from casting Soul Breath? We can now go with our runes. Okay, with our runes, the first non-negotiable rune would be the 2-star runes, right? First one would be Soul Hunting Pack. My recommendation is get the highest possible max number of souls and the third line, so we can take advantage of Soul Depravity's buff. And of course, the max soul, not only it increases your nail duration, it also increases your damage, it also increases your Soul Sacrifice amount. Then the second one will be Spirit Siren. My recommendation is get the highest number of Soul Breath, second row. So the base duration is 5 seconds, and then you add the second row, you have 9 seconds of Soul Breath from this rune. If you have it max, you have 5 plus 5, so you have 10. Remember, the duration of Soul Breath is or the cooldown is 18 seconds. So if you have this max, you have 10 seconds duration for your Soul Breath. You have only 8 seconds of downtime for your Soul Breath, right? So imagine that every 8 seconds after casting Soul Breath, you're invulnerable again, right? That's how strong it is. So for Hadi, right, you're asking how we can focus or buff our survivability. It really revolves around Soul Breath. That's one of the main source of our survivability. Okay, now let's go back to runes. So we've discussed soul hunting. You want the first and third row maximum of this, or the highest this, and then third row Spirit Sai, the second row and third, because the third row, after you cast Soul Breath, right, and your Soul Breath ends the ends, it will automatically cast Dark Contract, which maximizes the number of souls you have and also gives you soul protection, which can absorb attack times 600%. So that's another source of survivability. The more you increase your attack, the more your soul protection can absorb. Okay? Alright, let's go back here. Next one is the Death Wound Rune. I forgot to discuss the Deepen Wound skill earlier. What it does is, it triggers Deepen Wound for your Soul Breaker and what do you call this? Poisonous Smoke. Right? This is really what you want for the Death Wound Rune. The other two are just gravies. Now, what does Deepen Wound do? And you'll notice that I didn't upgrade Deepen Wound because the rune, the Death Wound Rune, activates your Deepen Wound even though you didn't skill it. So what it does is, it has a chance to remove one buff from the target using your Soul Breaker or your Poisonous Smoke. Now, if you level this up, it only affects your auto attacks and double attack, right? Maximum level 5, it gives you 60% chance. So with the rune, even without leveling the Death Wound Rune, right, it gives you 30% chance. Now the other two, the first one, bonus healing reduction. So let's say the healer can heal for 100 HP. With my current rune, it reduces the healing by 25%. So the healing of that saint or healer class is now down to 75 HP. And the second row, trigger Deepen Wound to deal resurrection on the target. Shitty translation if you ask me. What it does is, if you kill someone affected by your Deepen Wound, and when their teammate tries to resurrect them, they won't be resurrected for 5 seconds. So it's cool to have, but really for this build, you want the Soul Breaker and the Poisonous Smoke. And then for here, we want the Rage Breaker Rune, since the focus of this build is Ghost Wave, and it uses the Soul Breaker damage formula. Now, unfortunately, the first row of this doesn't affect Ghost Wave. I asked Sir Idle Hands, right? This only works on your Soul Breaker, but not on your Soul Breaker skill. Okay? Just take note that it only affects the second row for your Ghost Wave build and not the first row. So you need to invest on your hit. Now, for this one, you can either go with Halwalk. Where's that? Hurricane Rune, but I personally would just go with Storm Parry because it increases your chance to activate your weapon block. I'd rather go, if I have another rune, Storm Parry, I'd go with a rune that has the highest first row. That's the only one we want for Soul Breaker. Okay, for the Ghostwig build. Alright. Okay, I repeated everything. Okay, now, for stats, we want to max in. No question, max in. Okay? There's no question here. We have a question. Is the auto cast of Dark Cast from Siren third line will cast it, or you'll automatically have soul? We'll cast it. You'll automatically have soul. So let us demo it again. Let's get one soul. Right? Cast Soul Breath. After this ends, you'll notice that I'll have the soul protection, and then I'll have the 14 souls here. It just tells us increased penetration because of I think the skill here. Where's that? I think it's here. Gives us penetration for each soul. So that is the stat that you can see here. I don't need to re-upload it. It will be in my channel. You can just re-watch this stream if you want to go back and reference it. Okay? Now, people are asking why do I put strength in my build even though Ghostwig relies mainly on int and SD doesn't affect, or SD is not affected by your attack. It's because as a DPS, I want to take advantage of all the damage source that I have. I want to min-max my attack as a DPS. And from Soulbreaker, even though this is not weighted heavily than int, it still adds some damage, right? Now, my usual build here is that I add 100 vit, okay? Maybe 98 because I have 72 here. Why did it max? No. Anyway, 98 vit. That's annoying. And then for strength, I hover around 100, right? Maybe 96, just so we have it at divisible by 10. And then if I'm using a relic, I just make sure that I have around 150 dex or just enough dex for me to, what do you call this? For me to insta-cast my Ghostwig. There. Okay. Now, I should have not maxed my vit. Okay? The reason why is because I may want to push more agi, right? But this is not a bad build. However, you could have used the stat from vit to put it to your dex so you'll have more hit. Okay? I recommend around 100 vit and then dump it to your dex so you can pump up your hit. Okay? Yeah, I think I double click it. So annoying. But anyway. And also, alternatively, you can add some luck. You know what? Let's just buy some stat reset. I don't want to reset my stats using my Emir because okay. So while we're walking there, there's another build that you can follow, right? If you really want to maximize your damage, and if you're using no miss relic, instead of maxing your dex, I'll put it into luck, and I'll tell you in a few. You want to utilize luck because the more luck you have, the higher the chance you can inflict poison. From what I've researched, and thank you for the people in Discord, the maximum or the cap for luck that you can have so that you'll have an effective chance for your poison is 267. Okay? So let's reset this. Okay. Alright, again, max int. Let's max int. The heck? How did I guess I put some stats already earlier, right? So since I have 234 strength here, 86 or 96, right? Let's go with 96. I want it higher because of the penalty from Soul Breath, right? And then Dex, we want as high as possible, right? if we're not using a relic. So let's start with 103. That's an additional 100 hit. Vit, you want at least 98, 108. I normally go with this stat distribution. Now, the reason why I want luck, right? I just dump the remaining to my luck. It serves two purposes for me, okay? I should have used... If I'm gonna min-max this and I have 123 luck, I'm gonna make this 77. Reason being is that I can use... Where is my mastering card? I think it's here. Okay. Is it here? Okay. Alright. Reason being is that for each 12 luck, right, you'll get a 0.5% physical damage increase. That is huge. Okay? So right now, I have 193 plus 75 divided 12, 16.5 PDI. That's not bad, right? Or if you don't have mastering card, you can use Vagabond. And if you don't want to use luck, you can use Vagabond, right? And this effectively nullifies the penalty from your Soul Breath. Because Soul Breath reduce your attack by 30%. Yes, we are. That's the plan. That's why I just streamed this, because I'm too lazy to edit videos. We'll test different equips, okay? We'll test what are the good combination of equipments based on your stats, right? We're gonna do that. Okay. So we're done with stats. Okay. Now, you can play around here. You can reduce more VIT, add it to Dex. But really, this is as high as I will go with some of the stats that I have. You can sacrifice luck. You can put it on your Dex if you need more hit, right? Now, for equipment, okay? Let's go to my house. Then let's discuss equipment. Maybe we'll do it later. Okay. For equipments, right? There are two weapons that you can use for Ghostwig. Okay. First one is Fortune Sword, which is the main weapon for Ghostwig, since it gives you additional damage multiplier. Additional int. Int is always good. Additional int is always good. That's more damage. And then if this is plus 15, it will give you additional range damage bonus. And we'll talk about that later. Now for enchant, I recommend Ignore Death. Okay? Since our skills are physical and it's affected by defense. Okay? Yes. So the higher the tier, the higher the refine, it gives you more damage with your Soul Breaker, which effectively affects your Ghostwig. Now, an alternative weapon would be Demon Knife. Demon Knife is so good because it gives you a chance to double your final damage. It's like using Lex. Okay? Now, don't be confused with how it's written here. There are people that were asking me, does Demon Knife gives you, how much it is? 10, 25, 45, 75% chance when you have it at plus 15. No. If you notice here, when refining plus 5, the chance of doubling final damage is increased to 15%. The keyword here is to. Right? Not by. If they use the keyword by, it means for each refine level or each threshold, it means it increases it by that number. So you add them up. But since the keyword here is 2, we only focuses here on the last part, which is 30%. So 30% is the maximum chance you can double your damage. So these are the 2 weapons that I'm gonna recommend with the Ghostwig build. For the headgear, if you're focused on damage, nothing can beat Norma right now because of the skill damage, right? 8% skill damage, and then gives you additional movement speed, damage and survivability, mobility. For Enchant, what do we have in headgear? I guess we can use this port. No, you can't have int here, so just use attack, strength, since we can't have int, which gives us more damage. More hit also is good if you're gonna use Norma. So my recommendation would be yeah, hit and attack if you want to maximize your damage. If you're gonna use Norma, hit and attack, or attack and what else? Nothing really. Strength for more damage, Vit for more survivability, but attack will be your main. Okay, now alternative headgear would be, where's that? Where are my headgears? This guy. Since the meta right now is Flea, this 1,000-mile eye, if you notice, if I have 681 hit right now and I use this one, my hit increases to 812. This is more than enough to hit most players, but I would suggest aiming for 100 hit, 1,000 hit for any physical skill-based build. Okay. For cards, there are a couple of cards that you can use for headgear. You can use Orc Hero. Okay. Now, looking back at my last tournament, I should have used Mentalist card, so you're immune to fear. Okay. If you're really running low with hit, maybe you can use Mummy Star card. Okay. Nightmare card is also good because people are using Orc Zombie Star and Carousel. Right? Where's the Carousel? This one. Because they have a chance to make you fall asleep. Okay? So those are the card. Again, Mentalist, if people uses a lot of fear effect, if you're fighting RMs, their Death Awakening and Dragon Howling. If you want invulnerability against stun, Orc Hero is nice. Again, Mummy Star for additional hit. And lastly, what was I using in the tournament? In the tournament, I was using, where was that? Oh, here. I was using this card, Dead Owl Baron. Now I know not all people can get this, right? But here we are discussing all possible builds or card combination that you can use. What it does is it's the same as this build, this equipment. It has a chance to trigger Lex. Instead of 10%, it has 20%, I believe. Yeah, 20%. And then you can partner it with OB Star. Where's my OB Star? So you have 50% chance to trigger, 45% chance to trigger Lex. Okay. Okay. Face gear. What do we want with face gear? Now for Ghost Wave, nothing really beats Winter Crown, right? What it does is it gives you skill damage plus 6%, and then if you have any 3 attributes that reaches 159, it will add additional 3% skill damage, so a total of 9%. Now for Enchant, you want Ignore Death, right? So that you deal more damage, but if you're lacking hit, then you can of course change your enchant to hit. There are tournaments that doesn't allow relics, so you want to have a different number of gears that will support your build, your character. So there was a discussion in Discord where people are asking, what should be my build? What should be my gears for my build? There really is nothing set. If you're into competitive PvP, you need to have a handful of gears to switch based on the scenario or based on your opponent and opponent's lineup, right? So here I have 2. One is focused on hit, one is focused on damage. Okay, so I'd really recommend hit here if you're into competitive PvP. I think we can have int here, right? For face, we can have, good thing I don't have any dust. Yeah, you can have int and hit, int plus hit, right? Or if you want the cookie cutter build of flee, so flee and hit. If you want to build flee, there are people that have 1k hit, 1k flee. Those are good, but that's not really how I play. I utilize Soul Breath, play around Soul Breath, and deal as much damage as I want. Okay, so those are my recommended enchant here. Hit is your priority, because we all know Ignore Death is really tough to get, right? So hit, int, and physical damage increase. Those will be your priority. Hit with int, and then PDI, and of course ignore defense. Okay, so alternative for face gear, tough. What can you use for face gear? Mostly really are gacha, right? You can use Frost Masquerade Mask. Some people uses monoculars. It really doesn't complement your Ghostwig build. It complements your what do you call this? Auto attack build. So if you're a non-spender and you don't do gacha roll, right? What can you use? So face, I guess you can filter it with skills, right? Oh, no. Stats, attack, hit. These are the things that you can utilize. This one is not bad. It has hit and ignore. This has hit plus 15, hit plus 10, hit plus 15. If you want more hit, then use this one. No, these are gacha. I think this one is what you can use. Okay, let's see. what we're trying to do now is try to look for alternative for face. Headwear, face. What can we use? Maybe Goblin Leader Mask, right? Or you can use Silent Sinking for more skill damage if you're focused on skill damage. I think this one would be best since it's just raw damage, right? 6% total if it's plus 10. Alchemy Beak, it's also good. And it has a chance to reduce the target's demi-human damage reduction for up to 15%. So those would be the recommendation, right? You can also wear Beast Mask. Additional pen. Okay. Yeah, Alchemy Beak, as I've mentioned earlier. Alright, we're done with face. Now, let's go with the Mouthpiece. Mouthpiece. What can we use? We have light food. Okay. As you can see, I also prioritize hit here. I'd go with light food because it gives you skill damage, and compared to physical penetration, against raw damage, light food gives you the upper hand. However, there are builds like Auto Attack SD build where you can utilize Dreamweave Silk better than light food, right? Because if you auto attack, the skill damage here doesn't help you, and the physical penetration here helps you. But for Ghost Wave, we'd go with light food, okay? Alternative, you can go with Spike Scarf, right? Wow, I just noticed that it's really tough to find an alternative if you don't gacha. So for Mouthpiece, let's see. What can we use for Mouthpiece? Maybe Angry Snarl for damage reduction, but if you're focused on damage anyways, maybe Avis Whisper. It's just 3%. I'd rather have damage to demi-human, higher multiplier. Right? Yeah, there's nothing much. I would recommend Spike Scarf for additional damage. Maybe Abyss Whisper. Is there a Mouthpiece that gives int? None, right? I think there's not much. Just go safe with Spike Scarf. Okay. Stupid question. Does SD affects strength affects SD? No, it doesn't, as I was mentioning earlier. And hey Myrtle, thank you for dropping by. SD, the main damage source of your SD is the number of souls. Okay? Number of souls. It's not really affected by your attack unless there's a formula that tells you that it's affected by your attack. But if we're gonna base it here, it's not really affected by your attack stat. However, it is, since it's a physical base skill, it is affected by damage reduction. So you want to increase your ignore defense, your penetration, your damage increase. Okay? Alright. For back gear. Okay. Back gear, you have different ways to build your Ghost Wave, right? So first, the most common, everyone can get if they save, they can get this wing. I would recommend using this wing because it gives you a chance to cast Lex, right? For Enchant, I would recommend hit or ignore death. Ignore death is better, but if you can't hit, then your damage is useless, so focus on hit first. Have around 800 to 1000 if you're playing yo-yo, 1000 at least if you're playing competitive PvP. Okay? Alternative back piece would be, and I know it's gonna sound nuts, but you can use Fate Wheel. Okay? But don't use Fate Wheel if you don't have Arcane Codex, right? Reason being is that Arcane Codex, it reduces the cooldown of your skills by 10% when it's plus 15, and it also reduces the skill delay. And partner with this, that's 20% skill cooldown reduction. And the reason why I recommend this is because, and another reason why people see me casting Dark Contract in the middle of a clash is because, okay, you cast Dark Contract, you have a chance to cast Soul Breath, okay? Now, you wait for Dark Contract to, to go on cooldown. You cast Soul Breath, you go in the thick of the clash, you cast Dark Contract, you cast Soul Deprav, you can cast another Ghost Wave and another Soul Deprav until your Soul Breath goes into cooldown. So effectively, if you have this two build and a Supra from your Saint, again, I casted Soul Breath. You can cast one SD, one Ghost Wave, one SD again before your your Soul Breath goes into cooldown. Make sense? Soul Destroyer is absolutely influenced by attack. We can test that later. But from what I've researched, Soul Destroyer, is that a different skill? I don't see any Soul Destroyer. I only see Soul Depravity. If you're talking about Soul Depravity, it doesn't say here that it's affected by attack. But if it is, then it's good. Since we're physical class anyway, or DPS, we increase our attack. And it's not really difficult to increase your attack, right? Okay, so going back to this back gear, right? If you're gonna use this, you want to use Arcane Codex to take advantage of the cooldown. And again, you start with Soul Breath, jump in, right? Soul Deprav, Ghost Wave, or you go back. But normally you can just cast again Soul Deprav, and you can see that I still have Soul Breath there, and then I can just go back. So that's the main reason why you guys are seeing me casting Dark Contract in the middle of a battle. It's not a misplay. It's part of the gameplay that I'm used to. Soul Breath, Dark Contract, Ghost Wave, and then you can still have Soul Deprav, and then you still have Soul Breath, you can go back, right? So make use of that. It's good in competitive 6 versus 6. Okay? Alright. Another back gear that we can use, Starlight Sweetie. This is good because a lot of people doesn't use Nightmare card anymore on their headgear, and this allows you to inflict sleep, so more free hit from you, right? And of course the enchant would be hit, ignore death if you can, and then you can also use Tamamo's Tail. Again, enchant is hit. Reason is good is because final damage is increased by 10%. It's like Love Goddess without the drawback of 20% damage increase. The damage you take is increased, right? What do you think 3000%? It's your soul. I guess I get where you're coming from, right? But for SD specific build, if you look at this, 3000% plus 300%, so 300, 3000 or 3300 times your soul. So if you have 14 souls, 33,000 times 14, right? Or 3300 times 14. That's your damage, and that damage is affected by different multipliers that I'm not gonna delve into. And then again, your build will definitely increase your attack, right? Okay, let's go back for the tail part. Okay, what can we use for the tail part? There are two tail pieces that comes into mind. First one is of course the jade, right? Second one is the flower demon. This one gives you penetration, and this one gives you additional damage and additional chance to stack another layer of poison to the target, right? So for more burst, I would recommend demon flower or flower demon, right? Especially if it's paired with Chimera Star, because you deal more damage with target that are poison, and demon flower demon, I keep messing up, poisons your enemy, and it gives you plus 10% damage to poison enemy. Okay, so this with Chimera Star, it's even being used by RMs and other DPS. Now your poison is again affected by your total luck and the opponent's vit. If the opponent has high vit, you'll notice that you'll inflict the poison. However, the poison doesn't last as much as you want it to if the opponent has higher vit than your luck. Okay, alternative for tail. Oopsie. Oh, I clicked the correct one. What can we get for tail? And for back too, right? I think I haven't discussed it. For tail, what can we use for the tail? Maybe Beast Tail for additional ignore death. It gives you int 2. Oh wow, I can't recommend a lot from the tail. Movement speed, luck, and dex. This is also good. This is not bad. It gives you move speed, dex, strength, luck, dex for hit, strength for damage, luck for poison chance, and additional damage if you're using mastering star, right? So this is not bad. It's a good alternative. This is also good, dex plus 5. This one is also good, PDI. If you're under flee, or if you're using flee build, you can use 9 tails to increase your flee. Okay, those would be my recommendation there. This is also good. However, plus 10. How much is it right now? It's a bit expensive. I think plus 10 will reach around 100M plus. Okay, so that will be the recommendation for the tail. For headgear, yeah, I didn't recommend. We'll go back to headgear later. Okay, for offhand, okay? For offhand, if you're using a fortune sword, okay, then I would recommend Helium, however you pronounce this, bracelet. Reason being is that the plus 15 one gives you 4% range damage, total of 6, 21%, right? Range damage plus 15, plus 2 here, and then plus 4. So that's additional bonus for your fortune sword. Remember, fortune sword, if it's plus 15, it utilizes your ranged damage but not your ranged attack. Okay? Range damage. So it utilizes this one. Okay? And it also utilizes Dog's Servant. But for Dog's Servant, it really just make use of your plus 12 bonus. So you don't really need to get the plus 15 if you want, unless you want to get the what do you call this, the hidden pen, right? Okay, that is if you're using fortune sword. Now you can also make use of Vink. It gives you penetration, and if you're flea build, Vink is also good, right? Just make sure if you're not a flea build and you want to use Vink, you have at least 500 flea, which is not really difficult to get for us Blade Soul class, right? And you can also use Rom-sea chain because the more ignore death you have, definitely the more damage that you can deal. Yes, good question. I was about to go there here. Skeleton Bracer, you can also use this because it gives you melee damage increase, it gives you attack, and it gives you a chance to deal double damage, right? So let's look closely here. I think I triggered it, right? Did I trigger it? It has a chance to double your damage. So it's one of a good source to have additional burst. So yes, you can increase it if you're playing Ghostwig build. Since Ghostwig, even though it's a cone, right? Ghostwig is a cone. Oops. Even though it's a cone, it still triggers your Skeleton Bracer. So this is one of the alternative that you can use. So we have 4 offhands that we can use. Skeleton Bracer, Vinks, Rom-sea chain, and Helium Bracelet. Now, cost efficient, I would suggest Rom-sea, right? Because it helps most of your skills. Most flexible would be Vink, because if you want to switch from Ghost Wave to crit auto attack build, then this helps your crit chances, right? And it also increase your penetration. So I guess I'd go Vink, Rom-sea, Skeleton Bracer before I'd go Helium Bracelet. But if you want to rely with just pure damage of Ghost Wave, then nothing beats Helium Bracelet. But there are scenarios that we will discuss later when we do test damage, okay? Now, for the armor, there are different armors that you can use. On top of the food chain, when it comes to damage, nothing will beat NSM or Ninja Clothes, okay? It gives you melee, physical damage, it gives you physical damage, and it gives you additional HP, it gives you crit damage if you're crit AA build. Now, Perseverance and Chosen comes close since this gives attack and penetration, right? And Chosen, it gives you that additional effect that you're protected against fear. So that frees up your headgear slot in exchange for some damage potential. And now if you're using Ring of Loyalty for some reason because you're saving up for the best in slot accessories, then you can make use of Staunch Ring and Ring of Loyalty. Okay? Let's go back here for offhand card. You can make use of Anubis Star for damage. Okay? You can make use of Mark card to protect you. What else? There's a card that it increases your damage or attack. Let's go offhand. I think it's around here. This one, it increases your ignore death. If you really need ignore death badly, you can use that. It's Agent of Love. There's one more. I forgot what it is. If you're into MVP, then I guess you can use this. But Anubis Star would be all around, right? And of course, you can use Frioni. It's good when you're on Nell status. And of course, I'm talking about endgame if you have this. But the all-around card that I use really is Dead Time Holder, because it gives you damage to demi-human and then additional demi-human damage reduction. Tharastar, Tharastar is also good. Let's see, what does Tharastar do? I'm sorry, I can't remember everything, but we can take a look. Offhand card, Tharastar. Where's my Tharastar? Yeah, damage to demi-human. I guess it depends on what you want to try and min-max. It depends on how much ignore death you have. Maybe ignore death is better because you have a high demi-human damage reduction, or the opponent has low demi-human damage reduction and you have what do you call this? He or she has higher defense. Then it really depends on your opponent and your stats. Okay, I'm just giving you some options that you can use. Endgame goal would be, of course, Dead Time Holder, and then Anubis Star comes second. Okay, plus 5%. Okay, for armor. For armor cards, we have a lot of choices for the armor cards. If you feel like you're getting bullied by CMs, then of course you want to use. Oh, where is that? Is it here? I think I use it here. Okay, you want to use GR, right? You want to use GR? Where's my GR? Where did I put it? Anyway, you can use GR. I couldn't find my GR card. I thought I replaced it. So many cards. Okay, GR card. Garm is also nice, especially if you have the depot, right? And you can inflict freeze. It means it deals more damage. Or if you have a SH teammate, you can use that extra damage modifier when you're hitting frozen targets. Okay, you can also use Munak Star if you're badly needing ignore death. Okay, What else? Angeling, if you want to survive some of the crit of your RM opponent. Highly unlikely because you have Hollow Walk where you can block crit. So if you're gonna ask me if you're a DPS, play smart with your Soul Breath and focus on damage cards. We can also use Thara card as a universal reduction gear. Best card, endgame card would be Bloody Knight Undead card. It gives you a total of 30% damage to Demi-Human if you have your armor at plus 15. Okay? Monarch Star will help if you're into PvP. There's a card, I think it's an event card, right? Okay, now let's go to Garment. Garment, I think there's there are only two garments that I can really recommend. First one is White Duke, right? Because it gives you Ignore Death and it increases your skill damage by 8% at plus 15. And it also increases your attack. Definitely one, if not the best, what do you call this? Garment for skill users. Now, if you're hybrid, then of course, Cloud Undershirt, it increases your crit damage, right? And it also increases your auto attack damage. For Ignore Death, it depends on how you play. If you want to utilize your poison, then maybe 50% is fine, and then you poison your enemies, maybe stack 2-3, and that will give you 75% Ignore Death, total of 125. And that is what I am using right now. Yeah, around 120. I would say at least 100, right? But the more the better. Especially on high tier where defense is up there. For Garment card, there are two that I recommend. Mastering Star and Vagabond. Vagabond just to really counter the minus 30% from your Soul Breath. Because if I don't have, let's say, maybe we can test damage right now. I'm using let's use Mastering Star first. Right now, my current attack is 26k. If I use Soul Breath, my current attack will be down 24k. Now, if I use Vagabond, 24k with Soul Breath, right? So I need to wait for my Soul Breath. With Vagabond, from 24k, I have 25k, right? So that helps with the damage reduction, attack reduction that we get from Soul Breath, or the penalty. Now, let's see which deals more damage while on Soul Breath status. So I'm using Mastering card right now. Soul Breath, it's a bit difficult to test, right? Because Ghost Wave gives you random numbers, so maybe we can just make use of SD since it's consistent damage, right? Now we're not gonna use Soul Breath to modify our attack. So right now, with this setup, and we're testing Vagabond and Mastering. With Vagabond, I can deal... Okay, I'm not sure if that has Lex because of my... No, I don't have Lex. Okay, good. That's 1 mil, right? 1069. One more. 1069. If we use Mastering Star... Oops. 14. 1093. So, what do you call this? If we don't have Soul Breath debuff, Mastering Star clearly gives more damage, right? Now, let's try with Soul Breath. $1042. I guess it will be the same lower with Vagabond Wolf, but let's see. 1042 while using Mastering Star. So, given my current luck and my current attack, right? Even though we have Soul Breath attack reduction, given my current luck, Mastering Star gives us the best damage compared to Vagabond. Okay? Now, take note that this is my stat. You may have some stat that differs with mine, so the best answer would be to test it with your. Hey Hattie, you can have different sources of poison. You can have one from your enchant poison, one from the tail, one from LOD, one from Venom Dagger, and so on and so forth. That's why you can have 3 different stacks depending on how you build your character, right? Okay, so that answers the question for the Mastering Star, right? Now, we'll start using Mastering Star from here on out, okay? And maybe we should stop using, let's use this one. Just for everyone's information, we have 90% here, medium and demi-human, okay? Okay, for shoes, a lot of people are asking, is Wolf Grandma better? Sorry, it's if Little Fairy Slippers is better than Rune Boots, right? For this testing, I'm gonna use this one since it doesn't have PDI. Now, do take note that this has what do you call this? This has 90% depth. So the advantage will surely go to Little Fairy Sleepers, right? Because Little Fairy Sleepers has ignored death 4%. I know it doesn't sound a lot, but against opponent that has high defense, this is a lot. That 4% is a lot. So we're trying to compare here, okay? Plus 15 both, plus 15. I'm just making sure that it doesn't affect. It has attack plus 23, but it doesn't really. It's not gonna affect how much damage difference it will have, right? So for shoes, let's see what would be best between the two, because these are the 2 shoes that I would recommend for this build. But I'm leaning towards Saint Mary's or the Rune Boots because it has int. However, even though we're focused on Ghost Wave, we have other skills that we can use like SD, right? So let's do that. Let's try first Little Fairy Sleepers. I don't want to keep changing, so is this the one I want? Yeah. Let's put it here just so we can change it really quick, right? Okay. Max Souls, no buff. First is Little Fairy 1107, right? It's gonna be consistent because it's SB. Let's change it. So the advantage is with Little Fairy because it has high def, right? that 4% ignore death counts a lot. However, if we are gonna use Ghostwig, now it's gonna be really difficult to test because of the random multiplier. 688, 678. I don't think I'll get 646. Yeah, it's really difficult to test because of the random numbers. I can get, yeah, it's gonna be difficult to test with Ghostwig. However, I am inclined to use this one because of the int, and Ghostwig has a heavyweight multiplier with int as part of its formula. But if you're trying to save, Little Fairy Slippers isn't as bad compared to St. Mary's Cloth. But then again, it depends on the opponent's ignore. Okay, defense. This one is using 90%. Okay, maybe if you use it here. What's the setting of this guy? Let's see. How much damage is that? Crap, I didn't see. 24.9 M, right? Yeah, 24.9 M. See? So it really depends on the defense of your target. If it has low def, then Rune Boots will give you better damage. And Rune Boots is, I guess, you can say universal for all classes. It's the safest bet when you're going to choose which shoes you're going to use. Okay? Alright, so we're set with the shoes. I really couldn't recommend anything else but Moonlight. You can also use actually I recommend two, Moonlight and Edgar. I know people are not a fan of Edgar, but try playing against a begetter or a Doram that can snare you. So an alternative card for your armor would be what do you call this? Dokebi, double Dokebi, right? So that you're immune to snare, so you can just freely use Moonlight Star, but you're gonna lose the damage that we have from Chimera Star, or if you have Dead BK, you're gonna lose it. So, okay. Accessories. Okay. There are different accessories that I can recommend. If you're lacking hit, right? You can make use of Fading Tear, but damage-wise, nothing really beats Hermit's Bundle. Nothing really beats our Hermit's Bundle. But for the sake of getting enough hit, Fading Tear's nice. That's hit plus 35, right? And another thing is Dog Servant, because it gives dex for hit, and then at plus 12 it gives you physical damage plus 4, which helps your Ghost Wave if you're using this weapon. So those will be my recommendation for what do you call this, for accessories. Now you can use Ring of Contract, but surprise surprise, even though this has better enchant, right, compared to this one, it beats Ring of Contract by a lot. Let's see. Ultraman, Scorpion. Okay, let's test it. Is it this one? Yeah, this one. This one. Okay. So let's try first with Hermit, right? 859 SD damage. I should have just clicked this. Versus 854 damage from Ring of Contract. And if you compare the two, this has better PDI, right? 3.8%. So I guess whichever you have that has a better enchant, that's what you use. But for end game, go and save for Hermit's Bundle. It's the best accessories for physical classes. Okay, this is good. This is good for flexing. You can have higher attack value, sure, but Rom isn't just about having high attack value here. Okay, if you're gonna try to save for accessories, then do save for Hermit's Bundle. It's the end game accessories in this current version of ROM. Okay, now for Ghost Wave, I'd still recommend 2 Hermit, maybe 1 Hermit and then 1 Fib for the additional hit. Okay, alright, I think that's about it. Oh, weapon card. What do we want for weapon card? Okay, for weapon card, of course, the safest bet would be Freoni. Okay, because it gives you 10% skill damage and it gives you 100 hit. You can't do anything wrong with, or you can't go wrong with Freoni Star. It's the safest. And if you have LOD, LOD is good. LOD with 1 Freoni, that's a good combination. Where's my LOD? I don't know where my LOD is. Is it here? Nope. I think it's here. Nope. Where's my... Oh, it's here. LOD is here. Okay. For cards, yeah, LOD, partner with Freoni Star. That would be my suggestion. Okay. Too bad we cannot test it against a dummy because dummies can't get status, negative status. But I'm pretty sure that this will yield the best damage. LOD with Freoni, because the 20% here from LOD is a final damage multiplier. Okay. And then if you have Baron Star, right? Where did I put it? If you have this, then you can go 1 LOD. No, 1 OB Star, and then the head, and then dead OB here, and then 1 Freoni. Okay? Okay, now what we're going to test is the damage combination between weapons and offhand. Okay, let's remove this first. No, we don't want that. Let's use this to remove it. Okay, now you're thinking, sure, it's a Ghostwig build, right? But you also want to increase the damage of your SD. Okay, what we're going to test is, okay, so this, I just want to make sure that we remove all of the cards that may affect the damage. Okay, let's test first the weapon with Vink. We have 2 weapons that we're going to test, right? Demon Knife and Fortune Sword. Now we can test the Katars, but I'm really not a fan of Katars when it comes to Ghostwig build. So we'll test this too. Okay. Alright, with Demon Knife and Vink, our SD damage is 2.1M, right? 2.162. If we switch with Fortune Sword, of course it's gonna be lower. Did we? 1086. I think we. I'm not sure. Let's see if the damage will change because we might be. Okay, there you go. I just got lucky with triggering the damage multiplier of DKS. So you can see earlier 1081. Okay. Compared to 1086. So even with SD, Fortune Sword gives you better damage compared to DKS. That is, if DKS doesn't, doesn't trigger the double damage, right? I didn't use Horong. Yeah, there's a reason why I didn't use Horong, really. Because as a DPS, I need to rely, or I need to dish out a lot of damage as much as possible. They were wearing, They were wearing RGOP. So what I did, sorry for the segue, what I did for that is, I wore, where's that? Anaconda card, this one. My role in the team affects how I gear my character. Okay? In our composition, we rely on Deathbind, we rely on CC, Space Silence, and for me to deal damage, right? Sure, I can wear Horong Star and try to catch those opponents. However, if you notice in that match, people keep on moving. People keep on moving. And with my latency, if I try to use Horong Star, they can just get away. Okay? That's why I focus on dealing the most damage that I can, since my role in that tournament is to deal damage, and rely on my teammate to control the opponent, either with Deathbind, Space Silence, or Close Confine. I know I didn't use that. It's not because I forgot to use Horong Star. I decided not to use Horong Star. Okay? That's the reason why I didn't use Horong Star. I know it's a gamble, but we've been playing as a team and that worked out. Okay? Alright, let's go back. So now we're gonna test Ghostwig damage, right? So with Fortune Sword, it's a bit difficult to test, but 641, you'll notice that it has low damage, low average damage, which is 400k. But once it triggers, it deals comparable or more damage than a Fortune Sword. Right? The average damage of Fortune Sword with Ghost Wave is 700, give or take, right? And then the low end of DKS is 400, with the high of 800 if it procs 900. So if you take the average of that, being generous, you can say that they deal almost the same damage if DKS procs. At least 2 out of 5, I guess. Okay? So if you want to build Ghost Wave, you can certainly use DKS instead of buying Fortune Sword, because it averages out, and DKS gets the advantage because if you use SD, it has a chance to double its damage. So additional burst, look at that, 2M instead of just 1M from the Fortune Sword. Okay, so you cannot go wrong with DKS. And for Enchant, ignore Death. or hit, whichever you have. But I would recommend DKS or Ignore Death for the enchant. I'm not using poison buff because it will what do you call this? It will change all the factors that we're using. But since we're done testing with the weapon, I guess I can just use what do you call this? I can just use scroll, right? Okay. One is also requesting to change this with poison, right? Dummy 90% plus poison plus medium and test your damage. Why do you guys want to see? Okay. Alright. You guys are weird. You want to see the highest damage potential, I guess. Oh, it's still pretty much the same. I don't have a Stalker Knife plus 15. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Even though it's poison. The reason being is that even though it's poison element, right? We have a lot of modifiers that increases our poison damage. Now, okay. What else? Let's remove my buff. Okay. Now, what else are we going to test? Let's test offhand Rosa. We have an average of how much? 1086, right? For the damage of SD. Now, let's see with Rosa. Now, it will deal more damage because it has higher depth. And Rosa will give us higher ignore depth. Okay? Alright? So, from offhand perspective, right now, under Ghostwig Build and SD, Rosa takes the cake, right? Now, let's go with Skeleton Bracer. From 11117, I think. 1084. So, Skeleton Bracer is almost the same damage as Vink, right? It's 1084, 1086, which pretty much gives the same damage. However, the advantage here is that as a Ghostwig build, you use Ghostwave and see that it procs, right? Now, if I use SD from 1M, it's 1.729. So that's the advantage of using Skeleton Bracer while under Ghostwave build. Okay? Now, the least offhand that you'll likely use is Helium Bracelet, right? Now, Vinx and Skeleton Bracer is around 1084, and then Rosa is 117, right? 1.17M. Now, using Helium, let's just make sure we have 14 stacks. It is lower than almost 100k from the other three. However, it shines here in your Ghostwave. You can see now that my damage, the lower range of my damage is at least 700k, 800k, right? Whereas, if I'm using, let's go back again to Rosa. And if I use Ghostwave, 688, that's the lower, 600 to 800, right? So an average of 750. However, if we're using, what do you call this? Helium, which is really designed for Fortune Sword and Ghostwave, you can reach an average of 850k damage, right? Yeah, we'll test the armor. I guess I can't cover other builds. We can cover the crit auto attack build next time. Okay, so for offhand, if you want flexibility, I'd go with Vinct, right? If you want to utilize SD more, I'd go with Rosa. If you want burst damage on your skills, I'd recommend Skeleton Bracer. If you want consistent damage when it comes to Ghostwig, then Helium Bracelet takes the cake. Okay? So if it's SD, then again, Rosa. If it's flexibility, all around offhand, then go Vinct, because if you plan to go crit auto attack, then Vinct will help. Then if you want the highest burst that you can do, then you can use Skull Bracer, because let's play around before we test the armor. Where's the offhand? Okay. Now with burst, what we're trying to do is see how much burst we can get from DKS, right? We all know that we can reach 2M using DKS. And it doesn't want to. And I equipped it, right? Oh wow, it doesn't want to. Now that we're gonna test it. Okay, 2159M. Okay, so what we're trying to do here, I'm gonna try and proc the skeleton bracelet. This one, it proc, right? Now let's try and pray to proc the DKS. It doesn't, but you have now 2 chances to proc higher damage because of skeletal bracelet. What do you call this? Skeleton bracer. Oh my god. Let's see if we get lucky. Let's try 2 more. If not, then let's test the armors. This is why I'm not using skeleton bracelet. Sure, it gives you the highest potential burst if it procs together with DKS, right? But what are the chances that both of them are gonna proc at the same time? Right? So you decide between all of them. It doesn't want to. That's one. If it doesn't, then we're gonna stop testing offhand. Focus on the skill. No! I spammed it. Come on, proc. Wow, the proc is really low. Right. There you go. It doesn't want to proc. I don't want to try it anymore. But it's probably around 3M damage or 2.7M damage, depending on how ROM calculates it. Okay? So, for the sake of testing, I'm gonna go with Vinct, because this is well-rounded, okay? So, we're gonna test SD first with NSM as our armor. And then, Fortune Sword. Oops. 1096. You know what? Let me change the card. Just to be fair. I think it's gonna be the same anyways. Yeah, 1096. Now, let's use Chosen. One million and 2k damage. Okay. We are wearing Chosen. Lastly is Perseverance, the cheapest. and also the weakest. Okay, so if you ask me, if you're on a budget, you can start with Perse because it's 250M, I think. Is it 250? Okay, well, let's see. 250 compared to 500, so it's double. And the damage difference, right? This is Perse, 941. Okay, compared to 1,000,002. So that's around 60k, 50k damage difference, right? Is that 250M worth more or worth it for the Chosen? I would say yes, because it gives you an additional what do you call this? An additional fear protection, right? Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, they deal almost the same damage, right? I think really you can use Perse, but here's the thing: if you're competing at the highest tier, then your role is a DPS. I'd really recommend only the best, which is Ninja Clothes. True. So let's do this. Good point, good point. But even if we add Munak Star here, right? It's still around 20k. Close. What else can I add for Ignore Death? Let's... Do I have Ignore Death 5? Back gear? I don't think I have. So... Let's try this. Problem is, it has damage to all race. What can I change? Anyway, let's just try this. Let's see how much damage difference, right? Yeah, it's close. No, because it's because of the demi-human damage increase. It's really not comparable. But yeah, having the same enchant, right? These two are close. However, again, if you're into PvP, I would choose Chosen more than Perse, because this gives you a free slot on your headgear to protect against fear. Okay? So you need to decide if that 250M is worth it if you can get the protect against fear. And also, you need to consider how rare plus 15 Perse is, because since it's cheap, it's so affordable, and a lot of people can what do you call this? Can purchase Perseverance armor, right? How many plus 15s can you see here? None. There's one. How many bidders right now? Oh, there's no bidders. Oh, it's Ignore 10. You guys should probably buy this. And for Staunch or Chosen, right? How many plus 15s do we have right now? Oh, there's no plus 15 too. Guys, you should start buying now. So I guess whichever will have the best enchant, right? That's what you're gonna get. But if you notice, I have in my Perse, I really didn't get Ignore Death. I opted with hit. Okay? Because even though I can get more damage with my ninja clothes, there are opponents that will have 1,200 flea, and I need every ounce of flea that I can get from my equipments. Okay. I don't have one eye here. Do I have? Let's see. Yes, no, this has ignore death too. Can't use this. Alright. Okay. So recap. Let's start with skill build before we finalize. This is for the Thief class. I want double attack mainly because sometimes I play with Venom Dagger. Okay. So I supplement my skill build with Venom Knife that can be triggered from Venom Dagger. Okay. I don't use Qatar, that's why I didn't level this. I don't utilize Dark Illusion, that's why I didn't level my Sonic Blow. Okay. And then here I opted with Assassination Halo just in case I have an RM teammates that I can buff. Enhanced Hiding, these are pretty basic. Maximum Soul Breaker. This is a yo-yo build, that's why I have 10 smoke. However, if it's gonna be what do you call this? Competitive PvP, then my build is gonna be, where's my, yeah, 13 smoke, 14 mind intimidate, and then the reason why I didn't save this, right, is because I have that one skill points I can allocate based on the opponent's lineup. If they don't have any Blade Soul, then I can probably go more Poisonous Smoke. Looking back, maybe I should have what do you call this? Saved it with 2 skill points. That way, I can just put 1 point here, and then I can maximize my Poisonous Smoke. Then again, we don't add anything in Deepen Wound because what do you call this? The Rune doesn't need any skill points in Deepen Wound to get triggered. It's because I don't have Breath Holder's armor. That's why I don't have it. It's not that I'm not interested, but Breath Holder's armor, how much is it right now? It's, I was about to say, wow, 29M. I don't know how much a plus 15 is, but it gives you more attack, right? Especially if partnered with Stalker's Knife. It is an alternative, right? But I'm only able to show what I have, and you can utilize Nino or Minor's Deposit, or what do you call this? Desert Wolf Deposit to increase your Ignore Death. So that's definitely an alternative, right? I just couldn't recommend it because I haven't tested it. And since I don't have any background with that equipment, I really couldn't give you an informed comment or opinion on those armor. So I'm trying to focus on those things that I have so that I can give you information, opinion based from what I can test. So Breath Holder's armor is also good because you can wear one Minorus or one, I think, one Desert Wolf to trigger the insight, right? We tested Rune Boots versus Grandma. If the opponent has high def, then definitely Little Fairy Sleepers. Now I'm using this because I'm trying another build. But if the opponent has lower def, then it's definitely, what do you call this? It's definitely Rune Boots, especially that our Ghost Wave utilizes Int. Okay? Now I'm on my hit build here. That's why you notice I'm using this kind of accessories. This is my hit build. All of the enchants here are hit. So let's try and put it into practice, right? Okay. Now, let's start with this one. I don't have much hit here. I guess we can get away with this. Let's just demonstrate how good or how much damage we can deal with. I'm using this one just because it's damage increase. You can also use this or other, but for the sake of damage testing, right? We're gonna use the most damage that we can deal. For damage, if I'm gonna use a relic, right, which is what I'm going to use now. Where's that back? Or am I back? No, what am I looking for? No, mouth. Okay, for card, since I'm using Dead Owl Baron, right? We want Lex. Want this. Now I can go either with Frioni, but let's try with Lord of Death. And then let's change this one to poison, so that we have more sources. However, this build, I don't think I put luck on this build. I didn't put luck on this build. So instead of Mastering Star, alright. Then let's go to Yo-Yo. No, I should have not used this one. Crap. Since we're going with damage, right? We'll go with Norma. Okay. Now hotkey. I'm lazy and I want to make sure that when I switch, I have the same skill bar for, or hotkey for the skills that I use a lot, which is number 4 and number 5. If you notice, it's the same. However, if you want to really micromanage, then if you're using weapon block here, you can add it on your second bar, and then your hollow walk on the second bar. Now this build, this is my old build. I should have what do you call this? It's because it has deepened wounds still. Let's use the other one. I think this one is my updated one. Yeah, it has weapon block. The reason why I want weapon block is because there's a lot of what do you call this? SD players in Yo-Yo, and you can accidentally get hit by SD. at least weapon block will give you a chance to counter that, right? So if you're a player that can that isn't like me and not lazy, your first skill bar will be the skills that you use the most, right? And then your second skill bar, my recommendation will be prep for elite here, and then stay calm here, and then either weapon block or hollow walk, but I'd recommend hollow walk because of the cooldown, right? And then weapon block, you can just have it under your prep for elite. Okay? And then you have one more free slot with this one, and you can use, what can you use? Horum Star. It depends on your gameplay, but like I've said, I'm really lazy. And I've learned how to play where I combine all of those skills in prepare for elite and just disengage when I need to. Now I need to switch some gears. Do I have luck in this build? No, I don't have luck because I need to utilize more hit. So I guess let's play without hit. 800 hit, right? Without a hit relic. But I think my hit will lower if I use this. Okay, let's... Where's my Goliath card? Where's my other Goliath? Is it here? Ah, too many accessories. Where did I put it? First world problems. There you go. Okay. I'm not gonna use a relic, so that means I may need to change my weapon card, right? How much hit do I have right now? It's hit 835, not bad, because I'm wearing this. That means I'm gonna waste another 100k trying to switch cards. Okay. Hit. I chose this because it's int, right? Int and hit. You can switch to Starlight, sweetie. I still have the hit here. Let's use this. Since this is yo-yo, you need to inflict CC so you can effectively what do you call this? Damage and control them. I have 835. Maybe I can get away by removing my mouthpiece. This 26. Let's use this. And if you notice, I have how much ignore death here? 98.5. Maybe we can get away with lesser hit. And let's go with more ignore death, because there's a lot of strong people in Wolf. Okay, I think it's this one. No, it's ignore MDF. It's this one. Okay, this gives me a total of 133 ignore death. Not bad, right? Now we need to switch my cards for boots. Wait. No, I need it here. So this one should... Okay. So, hotkeys. Alright. Here, I still put, what do you call this? Demon Knight Swallow on the slot. Alright. because there are situations where I can just spam SD and I can quickly switch to DKS because it deals more damage compared to my Fortune Sword. And this one has Albaran and Lord of Death. So in my DKS, I usually have 2 Frioni stars here. Alright, so now I'm playing with how much hit? 794. This is not bad, really. Especially if it's just yo-yo. And even then, if you look at my last tournament with Exodia, the highest flea that they use is 850. So, if you're really into competitive PvP, then go 1000. But only a handful of opponents will have 1100 to 1200 flea. So to play it safe and you can adjust your build, add some ignore def, go with 850, right? Yeah, that was I wouldn't really use what do you call this, chosen. What I was using was a dead Albaran. Hindsight, right? Because when you're in the battle, your focus is somewhat narrowed, and in hindsight, I still wouldn't use Staunch. I shouldn't have used Dead Albaran and switched to Mentalist in that tournament, since I still need to deal more damage, right? And if you think about it, if you watch the video, they're good at collapsing to me and controlling me, and I should have noticed that in the first few minutes of the round, but I wasn't able to. It's way different when you're watching the replay than when you're playing, right? Okay, so let's try this. I'm running 794 hit. I don't have any relic here, just so we can see how much damage and we can do, and if we can hit, right? I'm gonna leave first because I couldn't eat my food since I attacked the dummy. Stupid game. I can't. I guess somehow the dummy is still attacking me, causing me to not finish eating my food, right? Since it's yo-yo, I'll just use Satisfied Feast. Then again, you can put luck in your build and use mastering, and you can view the first part of the video. But if you're trying to go with hit build, if you notice, there's no way for you to or there's no more stat for you to allocate for luck like we did earlier. Maybe you can go with 100 dex, and that will lower your hit to 760, or you can use 100 dex, get that 31 or 29 or 30 hit stat from your right hand side, since the highest hit you can get from the right hand side is 30, so that can cover it. And then you can add more stat points to your luck, and allows you to use a mastering card for your garment, because from our testing earlier, mastering star yields more damage than, let's say, vagabond wolf, right? Right. Okay. You'll see that my int has soared up to 238. That effectively increased a lot of our Ghostwig damage. One thing I really like about what do you call this, Ghost Wave, is that after one Ghost Wave, normally we'll cast Soul Breath, right?
And then we cast Ghostwig, and we can cast Soul Deprab. So even with... Ooh, I killed Yakio. Nice. Say hi to him later. The nice thing about Ghostwave, if you noticed earlier, I use my Soul Breath, cast one Ghostwave, and I have one Soul right away. And I was able to cast, what do you call this? Soul Depravity afterwards. One of the downside is that if you're if you got casted by cast debuff like Mandragora Howling, what else? Spellbreaker, Lex Divina, then you'll have the same problem that you've seen earlier. So yeah, let's try it again here. Cast this. Oh, you should die. Here we go. How much damage are we doing? Yeah, you can deal a lot of damage from your what you call this, a Ghost Wave. And then again, one Ghost Wave, and then you have one soul you can use for Soul Deprab. I got hit by Time Field. Normally I can cast 2 SD without my Soul Breath going on cooldown. So, oh, he wants to play. Look at that! How did I get stunned with Soul Breath? A lot of shitty things. He's gonna target me a lot because we killed him. He's a good player. It's just that lately he's been using Fly Wing. Okay. Alright. Now you can see that I get a lot of CC. I got stunned and probably I got slapped. Right? Now that's where creativity and flexibility, if you have other gears that you can use. Since I'm getting sleep, right? And I can't do anything about it, and I'm also getting stunned. Now I'm going to switch with what do you call this? Nightmare Star here, and then equip my set with let's say anti-stun, right? Anti-stun, and that will help you counter all those builds. The stun resist should be fairly easy to get because in your Oracle Mirror, right? We haven't discussed Oracle Mirror, but one of the best thing you can get is either Death Cut Armor or what do you call this? The Comet. I'm using Death Cut Armor because I play magic classes and I want to be 100% resistance against Silence 2, right? And then for the offensive slot, I recommend using Holgre as your top. It's cheap, you just need to unlock it. Next will be Combustible Knife. You can also go with what is that? Someone's attacking me. Oh, let's hide first. Can we click it here? Okay, so in case we die, I can just click it here, right? I hope. For Oracle Mirror, if you want more Ignore Death, then you can definitely get Chieftain's Axe. Okay, I won't recommend, even though you're a non-spender using Claw, there's a lot more value you can get from either, what's that? Combustible Knife, right? Compared to your Claw. I mean, it's okay, you can flex with having Claw, but no, I'd rather save up with Combustible Knife to get the best, since again, you're a non-spender, right? So if you're saving those crystals from EC, then might as well save it for the best enchant that you can have. The best enchant you can have, the cheapest one would be Holgre Hammer, since not a lot of people are using what do you call this? Egg BU, right? Oh, I can click. useless. So Hallway Hammer, let's just go here. Since we're using a skill, 10% chance damaging their armors and their weapons. Really, really good. Second one would be Combustible Knife, or if you really want Ignore Death, Chieftain's Axe, but I wouldn't really go there. I'd rather go with either Slash or Heartbreaker. Because if you plan on going with auto attack build, then Heartbreaker and Slash will serve you more. So yeah, just save up with Combustible Knife, or you can also say use the daggers, right? That gives you PDI. What dagger is that? Attack. Those elemental daggers. You can use those elemental daggers. This one. For additional damage increase. But just save us. No, Poison Smoke doesn't proc Holger. It would have been nice, right? But it really doesn't. Okay, so we have showcase, what do you call this? The Ghost Wave. Now, let's try to showcase what we were trying to show earlier. This one, right? Let's see it in action. No, it doesn't have a lot of damage, right? So now here, I use this one. I jumped in. And it didn't count! Why? Yeah, this is one of my problem where I cast some skills and it doesn't work. It's so annoying. Oh, I just noticed, right? When Nell is active and you use Soul Breath, you instantly died. Or you instantly die. So, I don't know why they did that. I'm not sure if you guys also encountered it. But when Nell is active and I press my Soul Breath, I instantly die. So that's something that you want to watch out. Okay? So you don't waste your souls, etc. Right? This build isn't normally good with what do you call this? With yo-yo mode. This is good with what do you call this? With 6 versus 6 or organized PvP, or in organized PvP. Because here, someone's attacking me. You don't have a lot of room to cast the combo. But let's try. Let's find a group of people, right? Why am I getting revealed? Find a group of people, try to execute the combo. So right here, jump in. You can see my Soul Breath is still up, right? And then I can cast 2 SDs and before I disengage. The reason why it's really good in competitive PvP is because in this build, right, you can probably break their KE in your first what do you call this? In your first SD. And then your second SD can probably kill them. That's why look, my Nell has been activated, right? No, I didn't. Oh, look at that. Nell activated. We use Soul Breath. We want to make sure that we can still deal more damage while in Nell. And you use Soul Breath to be immune to CC. But for some reason, the game the game kills you when you use Soul Breath while in Nell status. So just watch out for that. Save your skills, right? I'm getting hit. Okay. Alright, let's change back to this one. Where's my back gear? Oh yeah, a good idea. But shouldn't Nell, what you call? It's because Nell. Okay. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for that. Would have been nice if you can use, what you call this? Soul Breath while under Nell, since they nerf Nell that you can be affected by CC, right? Okay, let's play. Let's try to play. Now that I have, usually, right, I'll show you how I watch my Soul Breath and know when to disengage. First thing you can do is that I have 9 seconds of Nell. I have 9 seconds of Nell plus 4 seconds here. Sorry, 5 seconds of Soul Breath plus 4 seconds here. What you can do is mental count 1 to 9, right? But what I do is I watch when I have that what do you call this, green, let's do it again. Look at the green aura, right? Look at it. I can't hide. I can't test. Okay, let's hide here. Hopefully they won't follow us. Your Soul Breath has a distinct aura of green. Now look at that green and look at where my timer is. The green aura is gone by the time my Soul Breath reach around 6 o'clock something, right? So the time for me to disengage, right? Instead of me waiting for it to go here at 6 o'clock, at around 5:30, I'm gonna disengage. That way, if you have some latency issues or lag, right? You go and, what do you call this? You have, or you give yourself some buffer on when you can disengage. So take note of that. At 9 seconds, right? Since the cooldown of Soul Breath is 18 seconds, it just makes sense that your Soul Breath goes on cooldown or is gone by the time this one is around at 6 o'clock or halfway through the counter. Okay? I have 9 seconds of Soul Breath. That's why I use that as an indicator. Because sometimes it's so difficult to count that, oh, my Soul Breath is on 8 seconds while trying to do some things. So you can make use of that one as your indicator to know when to disengage. So for me, instead of 6, around 5, I'm gonna disengage and wait for another 9 seconds, right? After 9 seconds, you have Soul Breath again. So to that person who's asking, how can you build survivability in your character? The best one is really utilize your Soul Breath. Especially if you're using DKS, which halves your, is it half? Not just half, right? Yeah, halves your def and MDef. How much HP do I have here? I only have 1.7. And also aim for 2m HP. I think I'm losing some buff. But that's one thing that you can do. And again, utilize your what do you call this? Your Ghost Wave. I have no souls. Let's cast one. Oh, I have no pet. Hold on. The reason why I keep moving there is because I'll share it in a few. I have... I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but I have a bind here that when I press it, I can remove my target. And since I don't have a pet earlier, I should have pressed N so that it removes my target. Okay. Again, as a Ghostwig build, don't forget to utilize your soul sacrifice. Okay? It's really important. Hit this. Soul Breath. See that we have destroyed the opponent's armor, right? And we were able to kill one hidden opponent here with just one soul and using soul depravity. Don't be afraid to use your soul depravity even though you don't have max souls. Remember that your soul depravity can kill any enemies with lower than the max number of your soul. So from that example, I have one soul, right? So 1% HP, but we have this. So 1 soul, 1% plus 10, 11% HP where you can insta-kill, right? And is it affected by other runes? I forgot. And you have the third row which adds 5%. So effectively, you can kill people that has 16% lower or lower HP with even just one soul, right? So again, one Ghost Wave and Ghost Wave again, and then you can just cast your SD, and sometimes you can kill. Right? So there's one. Now I got removed buff. Ouch. Okay. What else? I think that's it for now when it comes to this team. We can do one more next week, I guess. Next week. We can try and cover, what do you call this? Auto attack build, right? We can try and cover auto attack build, hybrid as we call it. But maybe I can give a preview with the build that I have. Because there are a couple of ways you can do a hybrid crit AA and SD. First one, right? The normal, where slow this up. Where you focus mainly on SD. That's why my armor, as you can see it, is still focused on ignore death and skill build, right? And then another approach is the one I have in MP, where I'm focused on crit attack. So instead of using ignore death, skill damage, I'm focused on auto attack. So there are different ways you can approach it, but the concept when it comes to skill is pretty much the same. I would change this. But instead of the usual build of dagger, I'll go Sonic Bro. Right? And then here, I have Max Deepen Wound and I don't have Mind Intimidate. We can probably discuss that, and then we can discuss what you call this? The equipments, because that will take a long time again, right? To discuss. And then someone is asking Oracle Mirror. Let's just try it here, because I can't change Oracle Mirror really quick. So let's try SD, right? I have Lex here. Yeah, I have Lex. Let's just use this one so that we have consistent damage. So my Oracle Mirror right now is Holger, so my damage will definitely be lower. 12.2 M. It's gonna be consistent since it's SD. There you go. Now, this dummy doesn't have what do you call this? Defense. That's why combustible knife only added 100k. Fine, let's go here. So that we can test it against 90% def. Spam SD as much in 6 versus 6. It really depends on your opponent. If you're talking about the game against EXO, all of them are, or majority of them has built against kill damage. That's why I switch my build to auto attack, because that's one of the consistent way I can deal damage and then rely on SD as an execute skill, which worked well with us. I tried it in the first round. I don't have a video. I tried it in the first round. I spammed SD, but I'm not dealing any damage against them. Good day. Do you need ignore death if you're crit type? You know what? It depends on how you want to use SD. If you want SD to deal more damage, then you need those modifier that affects physical damage, such as I know crit is a physical damage, but skills needs ignore death, damage increase. You need penetration. So yes, you still need ignore defense. However, the question is, how are you going to utilize your auto attack crit build? Are you gonna use SD as your main damage? But if you're crit type, then I'm guessing your main damage is your crit, right? So really, it depends on how you want to utilize the skill. So I'm dealing 767 damage, right? With combustible knife. So without combustible knife, 697. If you're min maxing, that's a lot of damage. 67k or 60 something, right? Okay. What's this? Okay. Yeah. Let's just touch on that topic again. This build utilizes SD more than crit. That's why I pump up my ignore death, right? However, on my other build, this utilizes crit. So if you notice, my gears are based on crit damage and auto attack damage, right? And I'm utilizing Starlight Sweetie so I can control my opponents. I just got lucky that it has Ignore Death. So the answer to your question is, you know, it depends on what you want to prioritize. In these two different builds of mine, one is utilizing SD as the main damage dealer, and the auto attack is just there to supplement and destroy their KE, their shields. While this one focuses more on auto attack and crit, and I just use SD as a form of execute skill. Don't be tunnel vision with just one idea, okay? You need to be creative with your build. Don't be locked with SD needs Ignore Death. Yeah, SD needs Ignore Death. Even Ghostwig needs Ignore Death, but you also need hit. And then, like I've said, the pros and cons of Ghostwig, it's really bad against support classes like CMs, etc. because we don't have enough burst, or we don't have high. We have burst, but not enough burst to kill them, and we don't have sustained DPS, meaning how fast you can damage them. Because let's say we're dealing 200k damage here, right? But that isn't enough to sustain the damage enough to lower the HP or kill those support classes. So as much as I want to focus on Ghostwig Build, it requires strategy, meaning if you're gonna use Ghostwig Build in competitive PvP, you want someone to strip your opponent so that you can deal a lot of damage. Okay? Alright guys, I didn't expect it to go this long for just the Ghostwig Build. I hope I was able to help some of those who's asking about Blade Soul builds, equipment, which deals more damage for Ghostwig. I do think you can apply all those that we have discussed with the equipments when it comes to Ghostwig Build. You can apply it when it comes to crit auto attack. The only thing that will change is the skill build, and of course the cards and the priorities for enchants. Okay? Alright guys, that's it. 3 hours. I'm getting sleepy. It's 4:30 a.m. here. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Have a great weekend.